If you've built a successful business, but still struggle to slow down, trust others, or feel like you finally have arrived and achieved enough, this conversation will challenge the way you think about ambition, leadership, and what success is really supposed to feel like. In this episode, I sit down with entrepreneur and real estate leader Ben Lalez for an honest conversation about leadership, delegation, identity, enoughness, and the loneliness of the entrepreneurial journey. And most importantly, we'll talk about what it takes to get to and sustain success at the next level. Ben started his real estate career flipping houses in Chicago's up-and-coming West Side neighborhoods all the way back in 2010. He's since taken his construction background and leveraged it to help people with all sorts of real estate needs. He owns and operates a property management company as well as a small general contracting company. And in truth, it's like he has his footprint over all aspects of the real estate industry there in Chicago. There's a lot of vulnerability in this conversation, a lot of honesty, insights that I know are going to hit home. Have something ready to take notes with, and let's dive in. Please help me welcome Ben to the show. Ben, construction teaches you that if the foundation is weak, everything above it eventually cracks. So I'm curious, as you look back over your last 15 years or so, what foundation in your own life wasn't nearly as solid as you thought it was?
Man, getting into it right away. So honestly, it's something incredibly basic. I had quick, early success, and it was built on a house of cards, really. And it comes down to not having, it's cliche. It's like the right people at in those foundational positions. If they're not there, then you cannot build. You can't stand on a house of cards with you as the top card and then build on top of your own shoulders. So you learn that the hard way, that you need people there. The people are the foundation, and you need to have those people in the right spots, right people, right seats. Another cliche, sorry, so that you guys can build. That we can build together. And we learned that there is never an end to reinforcing a foundation. Our foundation is incredibly strong now, we think. However, whenever we're in meetings, we find ourselves continuing to add additional support to the foundation, as opposed to, putting, some ornamental thing at the top.
Yeah. What finally exposed the crack that let you really become aware for the first time that, the collective group of people I have hired is what's holding us back?
What continued to happen to me was I would have excellent people that I loved, and we were, on this trajectory. And what would ultimately happen is I would need them to enter a position of leadership in order to continue to build. And they, weren't ready for it. They didn't want it. I didn't set them up for that position, and they would end up leaving, and there would be a tenuous departure from the operation. And you get to the point where it's like you cannot continue on the trajectory of finding good people, coaching them up, and then having them depart. So you take a look in the mirror, like, I'm doing something wrong, because this has happened 10 times. What's going on? And what ended up happening was, uh, I had learned as much as I could learn, and I needed to go find outside help, right? So get a coach, and someone who's been there before, and they're able to identify places where it's like, okay, well, if this keeps happening, this is probably why. And from the outset, I went and I found not from the outset, but eventually I was able to say, okay, well, you too, I need you in these positions. And if you're not ready to go there with me, then we're not even going to start together. And setting those expectations with them and having their buy-in and having them
Mm,
get attached to my dream was the
mm.
eventual game changer. Yeah.
So
David
as
and
you
Remy.
look, okay, so as you looked in the mirror, what did you learn about yourself that needed to change, that you either needed to stop or start doing?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, man, I don't know why. Right from the beginning, I'm going cliche. It's like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go
Yeah.
together. Another cliche, but it's like, yeah, you can't do it all yourself. I have had bad partnerships in the past, and you I ended up avoiding them at all costs, right? And
Mm,
it's like if I want to go where I want to go, I'm gonna do it. And if it fails, it's gonna be on me. And if it's gonna succeed, it's on me. And it's a really lonely place to be. It's a really stressful place to be. And putting your trust in people when you've been bitten in the past is a very, very scary thing, right? Especially as a entrepreneur, solopreneur, to put your faith in people and trust that they're not going to listen. I don't think people are ever doing anything out of like malice, but they're not only going to look out for their best interest, but they're going to look out for my best interest and the interest of the company. It's scary, and people don't talk about how scary it is to put your trust, put your money, put your time, put your energy, put your love into others, and hope, pray, trust that they're going to do right by you.
this is going to seem like an out of left field question. I promise it's related. Did you play sports growing up?
Sure did.
Did you play team or individual sports?
I have a feeling you think I played individual sports, but I played pretty competitive basketball.
Okay. So it's interesting. Yeah, you're on the same page as me. But like, I think like that quote you shared, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. That literally was shared with me, and it changed the entire trajectory of my life because I
Yeah,
was just like you. I took pride in being the lone wolf, doing it all myself.
yeah,
And like you mentioned, there were immense feelings of loneliness, isolation,
yeah,
worry, stress, fear, insert every entrepreneurial emotion.
yeah. I think the other piece that's kind of attached to this is, you get really, um, I'll use the word attached again to the people that got you to like that first level, right? You
Mhm.
get attached to them. And you think that in order to go to level two, it has to be those people because you got there and you developed this
Yeah.
bond, etc. And unfortunately, because I have certain feelings about Alex Hormozy, but he actually said something that, he had a raw moment that I think was raw. Was like it was a really tough thing to understand that the people who got you here are not the same people who are going to get you there. And as painful as it is to say goodbye, it's like, well, no, those people's skill sets, those people's hearts can only get you here. And you need to go and frankly elevate yourself, elevate the people around you to go to the next level and go to the next level and go to the next level is a really hard thing to do, to say goodbye to people that have helped you get there. But, their ceilings sometimes don't align. I'm not saying that mine is a better ceiling or a worse ceiling, but our
Mhm.
ceilings are not the same. We're not living in the same house. And in order to go where I want to go, the personnel needed to change, the operation, the systems, the values of the company need to change, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't align, and you gotta say thank you for what you've done thus far, but we're not going to the next level together. And
Yeah.
that's hard for me, probably harder for them, and just is the nature of elevation, I think.
What, to your best estimate, was the time period between when you first knew person A couldn't be along for the ride to get to level,
Yeah,
10,
yeah.
and the time that the actual, not firing, but departure of that relationship, end of that relationship occurred?
So I'm still like on this growth journey. And unfortunately, what continues to happen is you hold on to them so long. You're like, no, come with me. No, come with me. No, come with me.
Mhm.
And it ends in like, some kind of rift because I'm a loyal guy and I want, and I really believe in my vision. I'm like, and you kind of like, no, come with me. And eventually there's a like jerking away from that person,
Yeah.
right? And that jerking away can be like not violent. It can be a violent jerking away of like, no, like I'm leaving and I'm taking these people with me. Or other times it could be very passive where they, quiet quit and like slowly
Mhm.
drift away and distance themselves. And ultimately, what it has manifested in, and this is the loneliness of being um, in this position, is you end up not getting as close as your heart would like to the people around you,
Mm.
so that those departures aren't as fraught. And it's unfortunate, honestly, because my soul wants that connection. I want to come into
Yeah.
my office and have meaning and um, like love of the people, and it's challenging when where you want to go, you have to untie yourself, unstick yourself from that expectation.
Yeah. I think it's well said. It's real. It's vulnerable. Like a mentor shared with me once. Like imagine, and he actually shared this through a personal lens, which I'll circle back on and connect the dots. Like imagine you are climbing up a mountain tethered to your significant other, your business partner, whoever it may be, and you're climbing ahead the whole time. You either have to drag them up, which gets harder and harder the higher you climb because the more fatigued you become, or you have to cut the rope. And you nailed it. It's painful as can be. So I'm
Yes.
curious, outside of the professional world, have you had that experience personally as you continue to grow your businesses?
Yeah. So this, I own a few businesses. The one that's really the golden goose is like the real estate brokerage business.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times it's happened where a friend or a family member has decided to use another real estate agent, right? And
Mm,
in my younger years, what I heard was, I don't care about you. I don't care about your family. I don't care about your business. I don't care about your
mm,
trajectory, right? I don't
yeah,
care about you. Um, because, I do the math. If someone goes out and buys a $1.5 million property with a stranger who they've never met and they claim to be my friend, well, you're taking $50,000 out of my pocket, my family's pocket. You don't care about me, etc. Um, and yeah, it's been a real challenge to um, pivot and see things from their perspective. And it doesn't hurt as much, but it still hurts. But I've lost or fractured countless
mm,
relationships because of that mindset. And when you fracture a relationship the way I did, and I regret, I'm not ashamed to say that I regret, it's nearly impossible to get back to where you were. And for those listening, I don't know if it's possible, right? And I'm
I
trying
don't
to,
think it is.
yeah, and
I think you have to go somewhere new.
yeah, and I'm coaching people all the time. I'm like, this is going to happen. Your best friend is going to use someone else, and you are going to think that they stole $20,000 from you. Don't go there. Don't do it. Or just keep your mouth shut for 2 years until you can see the other side. Don't burn the bridge. It's not worth it.
Mm,
Friendships of 25 years are hard won, hard made, and burning them down, which I have done. And I used to be
yeah.
proud of burning them down. I would
Mm,
burn it to ash, and then I don't know if this is a PG, I'd take a piss on the ashes.
no,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, and I don't know if it was healthy or unhealthy, but that's where we're at. It's what happened.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. I hear you would take it personally. Like if
Oh,
someone doesn't
for
choose me,
sure.
it's a big fuck you.
Well, especially if they go choose a stranger. You don't, in
Yeah.
my head, and I still kind of believe it, is that you don't trust in my ability, you don't trust in my professionalism, you don't trust me. Whereas I know for, in my head, a fact, I I care about you. I care about your finances. I care about your family. I care that
Hmm.
purchase a high quality product, etc. But you're going to go put your trust in someone that, like a true stranger, who, like, it seems like a fact to me, that doesn't have my credentials, that doesn't have my track record. You're going to go choose
Yeah.
them. Explain it to me, Paul. Explain it.
Yeah. And that's totally a fair point. And that's what makes the entrepreneurial journey, the ascension to new levels of success so captivating, alluring, yet challenging, as there were all these hidden trade-offs. Like you mentioned, a relationship of 25 years is first and foremost so difficult to have and to celebrate. And then to see it go, disappear, become fractured while the business might still be profiting. Again, on the outside, things look great, but on the inside, there's this incredible hardship you're dealing with. It is not easy.
And it's especially in the first, I would say, I've only really been at this no, I'll say I've been doing this seriously since 2017. Um, in the first 5 years, 2017 to 2022, man, it was just the relationships that I was willing to put on the line for uh, financial success. It's pretty wild, but
Yeah.
it's the cost, it's the price I paid, and it's done. It's a sunk cost. Um, would I go back and do it differently? Certainly. Do I wish that I had coaching on day one as opposed to I got my first coach in 2021?
Okay.
Would that person have helped me avoid some of these pitfalls? Some of them,
Yeah.
some. Um, but that's why these are the things I talk about with my 20 young agents every single day. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't everything. People are going through their own stuff. People are not thinking about you the way that you expect them to be thinking about you, and that's not on them. Um,
Yeah.
so don't try not to take things as personally, but it's very hard when,
Easier said than done.
well, in my world, a new agent, right, is lucky to do 10 transactions, and if your best friend like chooses to use someone else, they're taking 10% of your business away. That's hard. It's a hard idea to shed.
Yeah. So you mentioned hiring a coach about 4 years into really getting serious. At what moment did you know in those first 4 years you actually needed and would benefit from a coach
Yeah.
compared to when you actually hired one?
Oh man. When did I know I needed one is a really tough thing. I think intuitively I knew it's like I can't keep making these same mistakes. There must be
Yeah.
someone out there that has gone through this before. Um,
Yeah.
and I actually remember, you want to go deep, um, I'll go deep. I like the day before my first coaching call, I had the most intense dream that literally I spilled like gasoline from my heart and it was lit on fire. Like,
Hmm.
and I was, like, how am I supposed to expose all of this stuff to a stranger? My finances, my personal feelings, my business structure, my splits, the economics of what I'm doing. And it was it was a vulnerable feeling. In hindsight, I'm like, What were you worried about?" Like, it was literally like the best money I've ever spent on my business
Yeah.
because you get someone who has just like, "Hey, like uh, this is really eating at me, or I really don't know what to do about situation A." And they're like, "Oh, well, in the 50 times that I've experienced this with other clients, this has worked 100% of the time. So shut up and do what I say." I'm like, "Oh," and then it works, and it works another, 95 out of the next 100 times, and they're not perfect. And you're like, "Oh, I could have been doing this from day one and avoiding all of these pitfalls. Like, what were you doing?" So I don't remember the second part of your question, but that's the answer I gave.
No, that nailed it. Like, I always find it fascinating that those listening who are sitting on the sidelines, indecisive about hiring a coach and know they need it, there's the creative excuses and justifications the conscious mind comes up to create more hesitation when inevitably once it is done, everyone I've ever talked to looks back who's had a great coaching experience like, oh my God, that was the best money ever spent, or I wish I did this sooner. And I always come back to, like, the most successful people in the world don't hire coaches once they've won the championship. They hire them
Yeah.
once they are committed to achieving whatever goal they have.
Yeah. And there's the cost, right? So I'll share. My coach was $4,000 a month at the start, so
Hmm.
$1,000 a week, and that's whatever is what's $48,000 a year. Is that right? Four
Hmm.
times 12, $36,000 a year. And I remember one time where I was going through like a compensation discussion, like with like an employee, and he like saved me with his guidance $32,000 with like one conversation like you and I are having. He saved me
Yeah.
32 G's. It's like, oh, well, if you structure it like this, they'll for sure take it and be excited about it. I'm like, oh. So it's like, yeah, you're saving, like you're spending money, of course, but the decisions, and not only, okay, hey, you're going to save me $32,000 for the, compensation structure, but the time spent dwelling and researching about how to structure it. It's like, no, this is how you should do it. And then you're done. Just wildly valuable.
Yeah. Would you say right now, 2026 is one of your busiest times ever in business, or has there been a more busier season of life, if you will?
Define busy, Paul, for me.
Well, that's a great question. I want to put it back on you.
Yeah.
How do you define busy?
So busy, we're doing the most business we've ever done,
Awesome.
okay, as a company. I am the least busy. And busy to me means
Nice.
checking email, responding to texts, talking to clients, meetings,
Yeah.
etc. My, um, I'm trying to have my life be consumed with building and thinking and
Hmm.
strategizing. Right now, the big thing is there's a real chance that AI disrupts my entire company and makes agents less valuable. Right. So how do I make sure that I avoid it, um, or like delay it, or whatever the
Hmm.
case may be? That's my job, and it's exciting and it's fun, and that's where I focus my time. Am I busy working on that? I don't know if it's busy. Um, so I think busy is, I mean, yeah, it's a weird word now, as you have an infrastructure. The agents are busy. I have some staff who are certainly busy. Um, I don't know if I am busy.
I mean, I think that answer in and of itself exudes just a very high emotional intelligence grade. The wisdom and maturity in that answer is awesome. So I'm curious if you go back to one of your, and I'm going to intentionally use the word now, busier seasons, and
Hmm.
I'll and I'll
Yeah.
I'll frame it to you like
Uh,
this: you've seen thousands of properties.
mhm.
So if someone walked through your life the way they walked through a house during an inspection, what invisible issues would they have
Jesus
found during your
Christ.
busiest years?
Um, During my busiest years, let me characterize it for you. This is not hyperbole. I am not joking at all. When I was, quote unquote, in production, showing houses every day, writing contracts every day, um, there's a special
Mhm.
level of busyness when you are running from property to property while simultaneously writing contracts from your car, incredibly unsafe. I had to schedule in my calendar showers because I'd go 3 days and I'm like, I didn't shower. You sick man. Can we agree that that's busy?
We can agree.
So if someone were to enter that Ben, like that, my life Ben,
Mhm.
they would probably identify incredibly unhealthy, like personal habits, incredibly unhealthy relationship habits. They would see very clearly because I see these people in my business. Like, what are you
Mhm.
doing? Like, go pay someone $15,000 and you'll make more money, right?
Yeah.
Um, like a real uh, misunderstanding of what delegation means, a real misunderstanding of what it means to empower people to do their jobs and get out of their way. Um, Probably some micromanagement, a lot of stuff and that was probably 2019, 2020 was the
Okay.
like real, like gross busy, doing everything myself. And it's funny, like I think, so I was like, something has to give, and that's when, coaching, end of 2020,
Oh,
early
yeah.
2021, gets inserted because I'm like, how am I only doing 23 million? How do I go to 60 million? Like, how am I supposed
Yeah.
to triple my output without, having a heart attack? You know?
Yeah, you can't clone yourself yet,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, not yet.
Also, I'm curious though, like 2019, 2020, you're pouring all of yourself, time, energy, emotion into the business. What were you neglecting or what was it costing you in your personal life?
um, Honestly, in hindsight, not the cost right now doesn't seem all that great. There's certainly some relationships I wish I didn't fracture. Okay, we talked about that
Mm-hmm.
already. But to be in this position now, where I'm, sitting here talking to you, and I'm able to, I have 3 children, um,
Mm,
and I'm able to see them whenever I want.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like the highest price in the world to have paid to, like,
Mm,
and that's, that's entrepreneurship. Everyone says, and it's true, if you pour blood, sweat, and tears, for me, it was 2017 to 2022 for 5 years, and you grind. I was going 7 a.m. to probably 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday, nonstop, wire to wire every single day. I think it's a small price to pay for the level of freedom that I have now.
mm. I love hearing that. How old are your kids?
6, 4, and 11 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
honestly, that was probably it was a huge, huge turning point. So, like, I've shared a little bit of the timeline. So my son was born in June of 2020, mid-COVID,
Okay.
and that was the first step, to it's like, I am going to take, uh, 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. There's
Yeah.
nothing. But, I needed to delegate. I delegated everything. I went dark. And it
Mm-hmm.
was my first time where it's like, okay, this is full delegation. Guess what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing broke. People felt empowered. They, they made
Mm,
much better decisions than I expected. They turned corners in their careers. The agents on my team at the time, it was a small team at the time. And I think I made more money somehow by not
yeah.
working. And, there's the light bulb moment of like, oh, well, what am I doing? you know?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I hear that, having your firstborn, your son really opened your eyes to A, not only what's more important than work, but B, started to give you that extra layer of purpose and to, get done what needed to be done so you could spend time with your family.
Yeah, exactly. And, early in my career, everything came down to dollar per hour, everything.
Yeah, I get that.
And when you're not working, you put in 0 hours and you make $1. Your, you know, your dollar per hour is it's infinity. I didn't work. I
Hmm.
shut everything down and I'm still making good money. We're just like, oh, well, this is good, right? Where you can pay your
Yeah.
bills and not work. And, I've made a decision now. If I got back into production with our inbound lead flow and the amount of business that
Hmm.
we have coming in, it's not an exaggeration to say I could make, if I was willing to go back to that busy Ben, um, I could make triple what I'm making, right? The agents would make a
Mm,
lot less, but I'm foregoing about 2/3 of potential income and I'm trading it off for a life that is, like, healthy and good, and I can look my kids in the face.
yeah. I'm curious though. So you come from this background and this stuff, just tenacity, this ability to grind, this ambitious work ethic, Monday through Sunday, nonstop. You have that 2 week experience, like, oh shit, I stop, everything keeps moving without me. In fact, it moves in an equally, if not better, direction. Was there any internal resistance or struggle to working less?
Yeah, there's tremendous guilt. Yeah, it's like the worst, it was the worst. There's constant, like, incredible doubt, incredible, like, it's just as stressful, which is
Yeah.
weird. It's a weird thing to say. There's guilt about putting everything on these people. You think that they're gonna resent you because you're not working and they're working for you. You think, there's everyone thinks there's either romance or nobility in being extraordinarily busy. And, like, that is certainly in me. Or you think, oh, imagine if I delegated all of that and I happened to be drumming up additional business. How much further could I have gone? And
Yeah.
it's a horrible, horrible thing. Like, I actually just came off of, you know, the evolution turned into, I committed to taking time off. I just took a month off, a month, shut it down.
Dude,
Shut
love
it down.
that.
I went to South Carolina. Nothing broke. And there's still some guilt. There's still some doubt. There's still the fear that this is the time where my presence was actually needed, and it just folds. It crumbles to the ground, and the whole operation dies. I got back on Monday because we were trying to schedule
Oh,
this, right?
yeah, yeah.
I got back on Sunday, my first day, and it was Monday. I'm talking to my leadership team. I'm like, so? And they're like, it's all good, Ben.
I'm so glad you shared that because one of my goals this year is I called it a 30-day sabbatical. I plan to do it. I haven't fully committed, candidly, as I'm sharing this. It's either November or December for me. It will happen. I have a bit of hesitation. I'm more or less a one-man band, so no, but different. I do coaching, podcasting, keynote speaking, so I don't have as many mouths to feed per se. But there is a little bit of like, what do I do with my hands during that time? I love to golf. I spend time with my son, but I know I have a little bit of angst about it, which is why I'm doing it. It's a growth opportunity. So share a little more with us, like in the weeks and days leading up, what were some of those internal stories or feelings present?
So I think a better example is actually last year, which was the first year that I went and attempted this. We go to South Carolina to my in-laws' property. And last year I rented office space from an agent out in South Carolina, and I would go to the office and, um, you know, pretend to work and then cut out and go fishing, etc. And I really, that first time it was this like immense like transformation. I really transformed as like a human, a father, a business owner, and like getting some space and being able to touch the company a little bit and, not being so like sucked into every little thing was transformative. It really was.
Yeah.
This year, I decided I was not going to open up my computer. I wasn't going to take a call, nothing. And I found myself being like, yeah, what do I do with like what am I supposed to do? Like
Yeah.
what am I doing? My kids are at camp. Like I have not my wife is working 30 days, it's 28 days were mine.
Mm,
What do you do? Um, and it's funny because I haven't reflected on it. Uh, I'll take you through some of the reflections. I think in
please.
right now, what I'm remembering is like we don't have any true choice during the day at all. At least I don't. My week has very little true choice. What I mean by that is, what do I want to do now? And then thinking about it and then going and doing it. No, I had a call before this. I have this. I have another call. Um, I have someone coming in, and then yada yada yada. I gotta feed my kids, put them down, go to sleep, do it again tomorrow, right? So to have that like space, like, and ask yourself, what do I want to do, is a very powerful thing, and it's a scary thing when you're like, I have no fucking clue what I want to do,
Yeah.
and then where do you go from there? And I found myself, yeah, like going on like exploring like what do I want to do and asking myself like why well some days it's like I want to go lay in bed and watch a movie, and
Mm,
somehow like being okay with that is very challenging because I'm not wired like that,
mm,
but like that's what I
yeah.
want to do, and like I can't think of anything better, so I'm gonna go do that. And then
Yeah.
other days it was, I'm going to go sit by a marsh in South Carolina and do nothing for 2 hours and explore, because it is very, very easy to try to fill that space and time with something like golf or
Hmm.
exercise or books or some, I don't want to say self help book, like business development book. Like
Yeah.
I do that all the time. You know, I was like, and I was seeking that transformation that I experienced the first year I did it, and it was not the same. And there's this chasing thing, and I don't know. Long story short, what where I arrived is it's like stop chasing. You've built something beautiful, and you need to be able to not only enjoy it but celebrate it. And
Mm,
raises more questions as to what the fuck that even means. But that's where I'm
mm.
at now. So there's your journey.
Well, I also hear too, like the shift for you the last couple of years is this ability to move out of the doing and to be okay being. And the being can still have discomfort, but the
Oh yeah.
being we also know has reward, and then it's new perspective, clarity, reinvigoration, insert other positive outlook or experience. But that's awesome because I've seen it firsthand. I've been coaching for 17 years. All these grinders who have outworldly next level success on paper, they can't ever shut off.
Yeah.
So, I often come back to like these people talking about their lavish vacations and all the trips they take. And really at the core of it is like, these people don't need more vacations. They need a vacation or an experience where they can finally be so fully present that they can recharge and disconnect and be excited and reinvigorated to get back to what lights them up.
I'll tell you what the trap is with that also, because everything has a trap. Is like when
Yeah.
you are seeking clarity, reinvigoration, reinvention, whatever the case may be, that's its own trap to go seek that, or chase that. And
Chase.
that was my
Yeah.
problem this go around. Is like I had a like revelation is not hyperbole to me. Like last year, there was revelation, there was reinvigoration, and it was a surprise. And I think because I went in with no
Mm,
expectation, I had no idea what to expect because it was the
yeah.
first time. There was space for that. I go into this next year seeking, chasing. Okay, what is that? I'm telling you, it didn't happen. Right? It did not. And despite the meditation, the intention to not do that, because I knew I was doing that going in.
Hmm.
Um, it was different, right? And
Yeah.
it's hard, right?
I often come back to, I don't care if you're religious, spiritual, insert
Yeah,
word, whatever you look up to. It's surrender. It's letting go of a timeline of the
yeah.
actual outcome. Far easier said than done, especially for people like you and I and those listening who love control. Yet it always seems to be the answer to get that feeling of fulfillment, peace, presence, joy, whatever it may be.
Yeah. And and that's what where I landed is like what the fuck are you chasing?
Yeah.
You've built it. It's running. Like business wise. So
Hmm.
like there's something here that I'm chasing. What
Hmm.
is that? And I still don't know. And
Can I wager a guess?
sure.
Enoughness.
Yeah, I go talk to my therapist of 15 years. Yeah. Yeah, good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Well.
the thing is like all of us are looking for optimization, perfection, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
Listen, my life is like, and that's what I had to like look at. And I wrote down like my life is more than good enough. I am more than good enough. And how do you rest in comfort in no like truly but like believing it? You can logically
Yeah.
think it, etc. But how can you actually believe it inside? When you figure that out, would you please let me know?
Yeah, let's have a conversation. It's
Yeah.
an embodiment. I totally understand what you mean. I
Yeah.
get it. It's a deep. You use the word believe. I love, but it's a full embodiment of that. And I'm curious. So, what's your relationship with the word contentment? Like, is it
Um,
okay to be content?
we actually, what I do is I bring back some of these ideas to my leadership team, and we had that conversation yesterday. It's like that when we kind of landed on there's this duality. It's like, yeah, you can be content and be not satisfied or comfortable with who you are and what we are as a company, yet still ingrained in us is that chase, is that
Mm-hmm.
desire for growth and being comfortable in understanding that is also who you are and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay as well. And being content in the fact like that drive will probably never go away, and that's okay. Um,
Yeah.
so that's a weird way of answering your question. Is like the contentment is probably the knowing of like really knowing and understanding who you are and being content and okay with what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think too the magic word you use, you might not even be aware of, is and
Mm,
content, and I want more. It's not content,
yeah,
but I want more.
duality.
Um,
Yeah, two things can be
Dude, I
true at the
literally
same
just
time.
wrote that down.
Yeah.
I wrote duality as I listened, and I wrote acceptance of who we are. Dude,
And it's the
nailed it.
hardest and it's the hardest thing. I don't really know anyone who truly, accepts who they are as a man, woman, etc. Um, I have some and they lean very kooky in my head. Like, um, that's, in 38, that's where I am today, Paul.
Yeah. I mean, I love that answer. The duality, the acceptance. And I think when you do the work, because it requires work to get to that place, and there's always work to be done though, but it actually frees you up for more creativity and, if and when needed, an ability to sprint faster during those more intense, demanding seasons of life.
I agree. And the problem with that is, okay, coming off of this, 1 month sabbatical, etc. It's like, okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be reinvigorated. It's not really, that's not what happened. It's not,
Hmm.
that did not happen. Um, but, so I come back and just like, I don't have any, my team often jokes that when I come back from a retreat or a seminar or whatever, I come back and I'm just like, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. And like, that's kind of what they
Yeah.
were expecting this go around. And I'm like, guys, we need to stop chasing others. We need to stop comparing ourselves. We need, we have built something great. We need to believe that it's great and be who we are and be comfortable with who we are.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And yeah, it's kind of exactly what I just said. And part of who we are is growing, chasing. We joke we're like a budding flower that is always budding, right? Always. It's never fully in bloom. That's who we are. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a lot of moving parts. You've been vulnerable and courageous enough to share the work you've done on yourself, the big shifts and up levels you've made. Now, present day, you've got 3 kids, you're married, you've got these businesses. What's the one, the maybe two keystone routines you have just to keep yourself grounded and aligned in everything you do?
Jesus Christ. The one or two. Man, I haven't, it's, if anything, that's like my, like, that's my core. It's like I've been developing those routines, processes, systems for um, ever.
Yeah, I'm not
So like,
surprised.
to pinpoint what those one or two are, I think I have to actually zoom out. It's, well, number one is delegation.
Okay.
Like, um, like when something comes across like my desk and my fingers immediately go to the keys to get it done, I have to stop myself and delegate it, like, and having that mindset shift.
Hmm.
And then I think it's therapy and meditation.
Mm. Daily meditation,
uh,
more or less.
I have had practice periods of time. I've been doing it
Mhm.
since probably 2015, where it was
Okay.
truly daily. Man, I've fallen out of the habit. Um, but I always tell people, like, there are certain times in my life where the business has taken off. It's like when I started therapy, when I had a child, when I, really um, got into meditation. Like those times in my life happen to correspond with business success.
Success leaves clues, Ben.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, like when you're able to have more headspace and more choice and more calm, like don't fucking be surprised when your business also, like, and you can, I say it ad nauseum. I'll never stop. And what the one or two people who I finally reach and they're like, Ben, you were right. I'm like, I know. Like, I'm not telling people things that I'm like questioning. I'm telling people things that I have tested and proven. And it's hard for people to change habits. It's
Yeah.
hard.
But that's why you've built the team and had the success and built the culture you have, because you're a man of your word. You walk the talk, you walk the walk and talk the talk. And if you make a mistake, it seems from my moment of getting to know you, you'll own it, you'll communicate, and you move
Hmm.
forward.
That's exactly right. And if you're like our core values, number one, I'm actually looking at it over there is ownership. Is like
Mm.
it's so easy to it's in my world, I could blame the client, the attorney, the lender, the title company, the whatever the case may be. But and sometimes and often those people definitely played a part. But there's a one common denominator, Paul. Guess who that is? So like what was it that you contributed? What could you have avoided? What could you have done to avoid the situation or improve the situation? And in a very rare circumstances, you have a lunatic involved, and okay, maybe you'd played absolutely no part, but 98% of the time, you are 51% of the problem. Is what my argument would be.
Mm, I like that. So let me get you out of here on this. We have an audience of high achievers who are constantly doing everything they can to raise the bar, to taste that next level of success. Yet,
Optimize.
yes, yet you and I both know because we've been there, they're quietly suffering. They're ashamed to ask for help because maybe on the outside it looks like they have everything.
Mhm.
What's the one piece of advice you would share with that listener who does feel stuck right now?
It's a deep question, and I am resisting giving like there's no catch all. Like that's true for I can't imagine that there's one thing that's true for everyone. Um, I would say like focus. I think I talked about it. It's like focus on the foundational elements of your business and focus on the foundational elements of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. I'm a Tom Ferry guy, and he's just
Mm,
like, you need to look at your mental health and make sure that that's solid. You need to take a look at your physical health and make sure that that's solid. If that requires therapy, medication, meditation, whatever the case may be, you got to take care of yourself first, second, and third. Yeah, man, it's because listen, Paul, I know you're a coach. You and I have never had a coaching session. I imagine very few things are very like transcendent. Like you don't have a magic pill. If you do, I would love to take it, but I doubt that that's true. But you are probably sharing um, the basic truths that people don't want to look at, and sometimes you might need to be fucking medicated. You might need to go see a therapist twice a week. You may need to exercise and sleep a little bit better, right? You might need to, you know, hire someone or fire someone that you're avoiding. And it's like those key basic things. Outside of that, um, really basic is like I think you need to understand why it is you are chasing what it is that you are chasing. And, you know, so it's like super micro. You need to fix your house and then
yeah.
understand why it is that you're fixing your house. And if you can, just do this and you're going for this, I think the road becomes a little bit more clear.
Well said. And I'll add on there. Success is built upon doing the same little things
Mhm.
over and over again until it becomes relentlessly
I
boring.
I can't I mean, I have stopped saying consistency. I've stopped. I
Hmm.
because people know. It's like people don't hear the word consistency anymore, in my opinion. They don't hear it
Hmm.
anymore. It's
Yeah.
you hear it from everyone. You hear it from Paul, you hear it from Ben, you hear it from every single person you see on social media, you hear from everyone. Yeah, everyone knows you need to be consistent with your exercise, with your follow-up, with your sales calls, with whatever it is. Everyone knows. I don't think they can hear it anymore. I literally and I know that the people watching this know they need to be consistent.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe the answer is, yeah, coaching, to have someone holding you accountable to it. Hey,
Yeah.
Paul, I will pay you money to make sure that I see my therapist, I do my follow up, um, I see my kids. I'm home at 5:30. I will pay you to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm held accountable. And sometimes that can be a huge unlock. It certainly was for me.
Yeah, I love that. And often I find like you hit the nail on the head. I love your take on the word consistency. I've never thought of that, but I really like that perspective. And when someone knows what to do and they're not doing it, it's not a lack of knowledge problem. It's always a mindset problem, of fear, and that's a whole different conversation, which is really the crux of this podcast for 180 something episodes. But I'm so glad you shared that because it's a great bow to our outstanding conversation. I'm curious, Ben, where can the listeners
Hmm.
go to connect with you, learn more about working with you?
Yeah. I, I am asked this often. Type my name, Ben Lalez, into Google. Um, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are everywhere. We better be everywhere. Um, the Ben Lalez team on Instagram is probably the easiest. Real Estate Chicago on TikTok, LinkedIn Ben Lalez, benlalez.com, or text to me, 847-452-9675.
No shortage of options. Ben, thank
Yeah.
you for an awesome conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Good to meet you, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with Ben. It was raw, unfiltered, unscripted. And to me, it was an authentic look, peek under the hood, if you will, about what it takes to achieve significant success and then sustain it while navigating the emotional roller coaster, outdated beliefs, program, and patterns every step along the way. And I have an imagination that there's somebody in your circle who needs to hear this conversation. Share it with him or her. And if you haven't done so already, it's tremendously helpful and supportive when you take 30 seconds to leave a genuine rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for listening to this conversation. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next episode.